Breaking news! A new episode of Let's Be Frank starting now!
Hello, all! I've been loving doing tier lists lately. Truly, it's just been so much fun, and I love Pokemon. You guys know how much I love Pokemon. I just can't stop talking about it. Tier list, Pokemon, love putting them together. They're two of my favorite things. So let's do another Pokemon tier list. But today, instead of video games or anything, we're going to rank some of the Pokemon themselves. Specifically, the Mega Evolutions. They're coming back. They're everybody's favorite gimmick. Almost everybody. I love them. You love them. Let's go ahead and talk about the best and the worst and the ones that are right in the middle. Alright, guys. Here's all the Mega Pokemon we have. Tons from Gen 1, an okay amount from Gen 2, a ton from Gen 3, not enough from Gen 4, 1 from Gen 5, and 1 from Gen 6. This is something I'm really hoping that the Pokemon Company fixes in ZA when it comes out. Much more Mega Evolutions from later generations. Do not touch Gen 1. Don't touch Gen 3. We have enough from those generations. I know people want Mega Flygon. That's Gen 3. Let's just see what happens. I want more Gen 5. I want Gen 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's not skip the newer generations, okay? Let's feed them a bit too. But anyway, without further ado, hey, subscribe. That's very important to me. Subscribe. I'd be very, very happy. But without further ado, let's start the ranking. I love Venusaur. Favorite Gen 1 starter. The Mega Form, he gets a cool new ability. He doesn't change a whole lot, and honestly, that's probably for the best. He doesn't need to change a whole lot. Venusaur's already great. I think he's a solid A tier, honestly. I like him. I like Mega Venusaur, and I enjoyed using him in my first playthrough of X and Y. Y, specifically. Mega Charizard X. Okay, so out of Charizard's X and Y Megas, because it gets 2, I like Charizard Y more. I feel like it is the natural... Sorry about that. The natural evolution for Charizard. If a second stage Pokemon could evolve again, it's Mega Charizard Y. So, Mega Charizard Y, this might be insane. I'm giving it S tier, and I know Charizard is one of the most overrated Pokemon ever. I understand that. I'm not a Gen 1er. Please stay. Don't click off the video. But I put him in S over Venusaur, who I like more as a Pokemon, because I think it is the best possible example. Well, one of the best possible examples of a final stage Pokemon evolved again. Mega Charizard X, on the other hand, he just looks like fan service. It's the black Charizard, because everybody likes shiny Charizard. It's a dragon type now. It's so unnecessary, I think, at least. By the way, typically, I'll adjust the tier list and tier list maker to give it like an F tier. I didn't this time. I don't think there are truly any F tier Mega Evolutions. Charizard X, though, is a C tier, in my opinion. It's fine. It doesn't detract from Charizard. It just feels so unnecessary. Mega Blastoise, I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. I don't have much of an opinion on Mega Blastoise. I think he's cool. Love the giant cannon. Love the arm cannons. But do I think it's cooler than base form Blastoise? Not really. I think they're both equally as cool, which is why he gets B. We get almost every single tier in a row with just our first 3. I don't know. I don't have much more to say about the guy. He's cool. Just not that much of an improvement. Mega Beedrill, though, is honestly top 3 favorite Megas for me. Maybe even my favorite Mega of all time. I am putting him above Mega Charizard Y, despite what I just said, because he's just that cool. Beedrill on his own is a cool enough Pokemon, but he doesn't really stand out in my mind. Mega Beedrill is... I want a Mega Beedrill at all times on my team. I really wish he had a better, more unique typing when he Mega Evolves. He doesn't need one, to be fair. I don't know what he would get, what would be different about him. But besides still having that basic bug poison typing, Mega Beedrill's great. I love the design. I love that he is a major glass cannon with horrible defenses, but incredible, really good attack and incredible speed. He's my bug boy. He's my favorite buggy boy, and that's why he's probably going to stay top of S, but we'll see what happens. Mega Pidgeot. Hot take, very hot take. If you're a Gen 1er, mute me for a second. Pidgeot is like one of the most boring regional birds. But Mega Pidgeot is a great improvement to normal Pidgeot, right? Normal Pidgeot, you look at both of them side by side. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Mega Pidgeot looks really cool. Then you look back at normal Pidgeot and you're like, what even was this? This is just a bird. This is just a bird, man. Mega Pidgeot, really, he's C tier. I just wish he was better. I don't know. Thinking about him like competitively, thinking about him like in battle prowess, he's fine. There's so many other Megas I'd rather use before using a Pidgeot. I don't know. Mega Alakazam, though, they committed to the bit, and it was so worth it. All the spoons, the super long beard and mustache combo, he's like floating now. Everything they did to him just built upon what was already there in Alakazam. I don't know. I'm not here to get into like design philosophy. This is just purely what makes the serotonin in my brain pump faster. But I think he's an easy A tier. I do like him more than Mega Venusaur. And I should have said this earlier. We are mostly just going off of design here. I'm not much of a competitive player, and by much, I've never really done competitive. So I'm just going off of vibes, off of design, and what I like about them. This is not an in-depth discussion or anything. Mega Slowbro, speaking of design, adorable. Again, this is the best part about Mega Evolution. It is just the next step. What can I do to this final evolved Pokemon to take it, one step beyond? You have Slowpoke, no Shelter Shell. Slowbro, the Shelter bites his tail, that's it, and he stands up. That's the only change. So what next? What more can you do? The shell goes even further. If I may, he deep throats the Slowbro. I shouldn't keep that in. I try to be PG, but that's probably PG-13. It's fine. This is A tier as well. It's just cute. I think it's just right. And in the defenses shooting up, that's a good thing in my mind. I think this isn't, again, is it my first choice for a Mega to use? No. Is it a solid option? Yes. Mega Gengar. Gengar did not need a Mega and Gigantamax. I hate that so much, dude. If you're gonna give a Pokemon multiple gimmicks, give it to a Pokemon that doesn't already have a lot going on. Like freaking Lopunny. We're gonna talk about Lopunny later. It got its own Mega, great. Give it its own Gigantamax. Freaking do the same thing to, I don't know, now I'm just looking through the list. Manectric. Manectric doesn't have a lot going on. It got a Mega, great. You want to give another Pokemon a Gigantamax? Give it to Manectric. It didn't need to happen to Gengar. Mega Gengar is sick. It looks super cool. It's just the anti-Gen 1er in me that doesn't want to put it very high. Look, it's an improvement to Gengar in my opinion. Gen 1 gave us so many blob Pokemon, just round orbs with a few features coming off. Wigglytuff, Clefairy, freaking Clefable, Gengar, to name a few. Lickitung just barely makes it past just an orb. I'm going to give it top of B, specifically because I'm trying to be a freaking annoying hipster about it. No, I can't. I can't even do that. It goes above Slowbro and A. It's cool. I can't deny that it's cool, guys. Mega Kangaskhan. Mega Kangaskhan. It's a fun thought in theory, but in practice, it's just kind of boring. It doesn't change at all. Its baby just comes out. Why does Mega Evolution only affect the baby? Why doesn't it affect Mom literally at all? No extra spikes, no bulkier frame. It's just the same. It makes me want to put it in D because I just find it so boring. I like its ability that it gets. It's overpowered. I know it dominated competitive when it first came out, so a lot of people are going to really like it, but that also is probably going to make some people hate it. I just think it's boring. I think it is the most boring Mega Evolution. Hot take, maybe, but it's my opinion. Mega Pinsir, I am completely neutral on, if I'm being honest. I think it looks cool. I like that it gains the extra flying type, right? It has to. It has to. I am so neutral on it. I'm going to put it above Mega Charizard X and C just because I really have no real valid opinions on it. It's just a Mega. Did it need to exist? Yes, actually. No, because it's Gen 1, and Gen 1 gets too many handouts. But Pinsir's not one of the most popular Pokemon from the generation, so yeah, give it a little something. I still don't feel much on it. Mega Gyarados, though, is so cool. Gosh, I'm so glad they did not give it the Dragon type. If they gave it the Dragon type, I'd probably put it down there and C with Mega Charizard X. It getting dark, though, I think is appropriate. You know, Gyarados' Pokedex entries always talk about how much it rampages and how angry it gets and whatnot. I think this is good. I think it is probably A. Gosh, I don't want... AT is going to be... It's going to be so full of Pokemon, guys. I'm going to put it above Mega Gengar just because I think it works as an evolved form just a bit more. And I know Gyarados is like an incredibly well-known and popular Pokemon, but I think it deserved it just a hair more than Gengar did. Mega Aerodactyl, I'm going to be honest, I don't think it improves upon Aerodactyl design. It literally looks like they just pasted spikes to it, which, to be fair, I was just saying if they would have put more spikes on Kangaskhan, maybe I would have liked it more. But the spikes on Mega Aerodactyl aren't good spikes. They aren't good, guys. So that's why it gets D. I'm sorry. It's better than Mega Kangaskhan, but I just don't like it. I really don't. Alright, we're finally about to finish out Gen 1 here with the Mega Mewtwo's. Another X and Y set of Megas. I really wish they didn't do that. I don't know, guys. Mega Mewtwo X is fine. He's a solid B, in my opinion. Lower than Mega Blastoise. Mewtwo didn't need it. He quite simply did not need a second Mega, especially with the fighting type attached to it. I just don't see the point, so B tier. And the design is fine. It's I guess I didn't put it in C, so it's a hair above fine. I don't hate it, but Mega Mewtwo Y, on the other hand, that's a cool Pokemon. Now, Joachim and I, if you know my good buddy Joachim, him and I have a podcast called Certified Poke Moments. We had an episode on Mewtwo recently. And we talked about its Mega Evolutions, and I don't hate them. You can learn a lot more of my thoughts and opinions on the Pokemon. Here, I'll link that episode at the end of this video, if I remember. Or just go watch it. Just go watch it. It's really good. I definitely like Y more than B, honestly. It's still just a B tier freaking Mega Evolution, though, in my mind. I still don't think they're as good as Mega Blastoise either. I just like Y better than X. And finally, we can start Gen 2. Alright, Mega Ampharos. This is a Pokemon I never would have expected to get the Dragon type. Them giving it to Charizard, sure, I can see that coming. Them giving it to Gyarados. I don't want it, but if they did it, I could have seen why. Ampharos? Why not? I love when a Pokemon just kind of has a random type you're not expecting. I think that's just so much more interesting than making, the orange dragon with a flame on its tail the fire type. Obviously, they need to do that. That makes sense. But you know what I'm saying, right? I just like the uniqueness of it. And even if it's not like competitively the best Mega Evolution ever, the flowing locks, the big fluffy tail, it's just what I want to see with Ampharos. It's goofy. They didn't take it too seriously. I love it. I think it's adorable. I think that's pretty high up in A. That is a great, great, great Mega Evolution. For no other reason than I just think it's funny. Mega Steelix. This guy, honestly, underrated Mega Evolution. I see him get like swept under the rug a lot, just kind of forgotten about as far as a Mega Evolution goes. And I like him. I do like him. Gosh, I don't want to keep adding Pokemon to A, but A is just like the good, solid Mega section, you know? Where else am I going to put just good Megas that may not be great, but they're awesome. They're just so cool. Hey, I'm going to put him in S. Why not? Why not, right? He's so cool. He is exactly what Mega Steelix should be. All these awesome freaking crystals jutting out of his body, the magnetic, whatever you want to, the magnetism going around his body, just I love it. It's cool to look at, and I should really use one in Legends ZA. Mega Scizor is fun, but I think I like normal Scizor more. I don't know. Mega Scizor just seems like an idea taken too far. You have Scyther's Scythes that evolve into Scizor's, claws. They're not really scissors. And then what are these? They're like those. They just look like clamps to me. They get like the squeezy clamps. I don't hate him. I think he's cool, but I do think he's just top of B. I don't think he really improves upon Scizor's design. Again, he's just kind of like a sideways shift. Like, yeah, he's about as cool as Scizor. I think I prefer just the original, though. Oh, Mega Heracross. I like Heracross. You'd think he'd be one of my favorite bug types because he's based on beetles, and I absolutely adore beetles. But I don't know. I've had this thought that if I was like a gym leader in the Pokemon universe, I'd be a bug type gym leader because I love real life insects just so much. And I put a Heracross on my team. I figured he'd be the Mega Evolution, but really that's just because I want a fighting type on my team really bad. A Pokemon that would fit me better would be Beedrill, specifically Mega Beedrill. So maybe I'll make that switch one day. But I already have Scolipede as my bug poison type. This is my struggle. A personal struggle, though, so I'll stop talking about it. What I was trying to get at is that Mega Heracross is cool, but gosh, do I wish it was so much cooler. I think that's another C tier Mega Evolution. Top of C, to be fair. What are those big fat Popeye arms for? That little vent in his belly. I don't know what that's there for. What's that supposed to do? Uh-oh. Did that just mess something up on my mic? I hope not. He's based on like more of a Hercules beetle now. I love Hercules beetles so much. I just wish he was a bit better. Just a little bit better. Mega Houndoom, perfect. Exactly what I was hoping for with a Houndoom evolution. Take what you have, push it further, perfect. That's what they did with Mega Houndoom. To be frank, I don't see myself picking Houndoom as like a go-to choice every time for Mega to use. But design-wise, gosh, if that ain't an S-tier design, that's bottom of S, but like, it's perfect. It's exactly what you want when it comes to a Houndoom evolution. The only thing that would make it better is if it looked more like Cerberus, but giving it 3 heads is a bad idea, actually. Not a good one. So, what they did was correct. What they did was right. I love it. Hey, just in case something changed, I changed the setting on my microphone. I had it set to something different when Joker and I were doing our podcast, but now I'm not. Forgot to change it to the setting that's just me. Basically, if the audio sounds different, that's why. I don't think it'll sound very different, though. Mega Tyranitar. He did not need it. Did not need a Mega. No pseudo needs a Mega. But Garchomp, Tyranitar, Metagross, freaking... I know there's another. Did I say Salamence? He got one. So many pseudos got Mega Evolutions that did not need them. Hopefully, no other pseudos get Megas. I'm looking at you, Dragonite. You don't need it. Anyway, Mega Tyranitar is cool as hell. He did not need an evolution. He really didn't. He did not need a Mega. But good lord, it looks good. It looks so good. He's gonna be B, top of B, because he looks amazing. But good lord, was it unnecessary. I honestly, I wish he didn't have one, just because it seems so unfair. All right, we're done with Johto. We're moving to Hoenn. Time for the Hoenn starters. Mega Sceptile, not a fan. I want to like it so bad. I hate, though, I don't like... This is going to sound so dumb and nitpicky. I don't like a Sprite when their back is facing you and they're like looking behind themselves at you. I get that his tail is like the projectile he shoots out, but I also think that's kind of dumb. Where did that come from? Again, I'm going to keep dropping this every time I do a Pokemon video now, but Joachim and I have a Pokemon podcast. We did an episode on Sceptile. I got to learn all about this guy in that episode. I don't know why Sceptile has to have a homing missile tail. I'm putting him in C. Actually, not. Is he D? He's top of D, right? He's like, to me, he's like sitting on that line of D and C tier. It's not bad. Again, I like that they gave him the Dragon type. That's good. But Dragon doesn't really benefit the Grass type much at all. Gosh, it just kind of gives him more weaknesses. Doesn't really help him. I guess it kind of helps a little, but not much. I don't know. Moving on, Mega Blaziken, sick. I love it. I think it's cool. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have much more to say on it. It's kind of like Blastoise, where I don't think it improves that much, or like Scizor, where it's like the side-by-side. Could have been either. I like them both. Mega Blaziken, though, just get a hair above the competition. It was one of the first Megas we got to see, and I do think that, like, more saturated, almost darker, brighter antonyms, but they work together. Not antonyms. What's that word? Is the two opposites? Maybe it was antonyms. Ugh. Mega Blaziken is good. He works. Let's go ahead and put him top of no. Yeah, we're going to put him up pretty high. We're going to put him above Mega Venusaur in A. He's great. I love him. How can you not? Mega Swampert, big, bulky boy. And again, I'm not really sure how they arrived at this. Swampert just turning into this absolute jacked unit would not have been my guess for how to Mega Evolve him. I don't know. He just feels like a completely different Pokemon to me. He doesn't feel like that Swampert that we all know and love. But that doesn't mean I hate him. I think I do still like him more than Mega Gengar. So he's going to go right there in A tier. Mega Gardevoir. I've said it once. I've said it 1,000 times. It's just the next step. You don't even have to do that much. And they really didn't. You compare them both side by side, and they really didn't touch Mega. They really didn't touch Gardevoir when making the Mega. Fluffier dress, bigger chest crystal, new haircut, and that's about it. So I am honestly going to put her on top of B. It is the next step, but just not done. It's no Mega Houndoom. Let's just put it that way. Great Pokemon. I like that it's stronger, but I don't know. I like Mega Gallade a bit more than Mega Gardevoir. Bit of a spoiler for later, but Mega Sableye doesn't change a whole lot. Just gets a really big crystal. Not a bad thing, just strange. Sableye wasn't one of those Pokemon that needed an evolution that made him jacked or that made him super big and menacing. The fact that he is still just a little gremlin, I think, is a good thing. So that puts him in A. That keeps him in A. No. Does it? Does it keep him in A? I don't know. Sableye doesn't really take up a lot of brain space to begin with, so maybe he's B. No, but I'm judging the Mega, not the base Pokemon. And as a Mega, I think he's bottom of A. I do. It's a good evolution of Sableye. I'm glad he got a Mega and not like a normal evolution, because Sableye, he's good as he is, but doesn't take up a lot of brain space. What they did with Mega Mawile, though, is so fun. The one giant mouth at the back of his head is good, so why not have two? Steel Fairy is an incredible typing. I think that you could have told me this was just a normal, proper evolution for Mawile. I'd believe you. I'd say this was a good idea. I'd like it. So for it to be a Mega evolution, totally serviceable. That is just under Venusaur as a Mega. I like it. Design-wise, I think you really can't get much better. Mega Aggron has such a sick design. Oh, man, dude. They got rid of that awful rock typing. You know, rock's a great type, of course, but when you combine it with steel, you just get ×4 to fighting, ×4 to ground. I mean, it's not great. So to drop rock is really nice. If memory serves, it has a good ability. Yeah, this is solid. This is bottom of S. I've never used a Mega Aggron in like a team or anything, but I really want to, just because it looks so cool. That is one of the most like badass Pokemon designs there is. It really doesn't get much better. Mega Medicham is D tier, because Medicham already looked bad, and instead of improving upon Mega Medicham's design, they just kind of didn't. They just decided to give it a hat, and I don't know, maybe, is that a belt? Yeah, give it some scarves coming off the back. It's not better. It's really not. That's bottom of D. I just don't like it. And then there's Mega Manectric. He's next. I spoke about him earlier. I gave him some high praise. He's a Pokemon that needed this, and he's cute. And he's a good dog. He's goofy. He's just so goofy, and not even in like the best of ways. He's top of B though. I think just a couple of tweaks here and there, and I don't even have like specific things to tweak. Just a couple of tweaks here and there, and he could have been like easy A, but Manectric deserved this Mega. Could have just been tweaked a little though. Sharpedo could have been better. You know that like beta design of Sharpedo where he's got like the chain coming off the back? I think they just should have leaned into that and done something like that. I just think the big nose just doesn't work for me, man. All the like yellow scars, I guess you could call them, accents on him, they work well, they work nice when compared to Mega Camerupt. Because they're like, they're counterparts, right? The Team Aqua, Team Magma. They're like the main Pokemon for those teams, right? What's that called? Icons, maybe? I don't know. I just think Mega Sharpedo is aggressively C tier. Probably better than Mega Pidgeot, though. Mega Camerupt, I think, turned out a lot better. I know he's not that much better when it comes to, like, in-battle prowess. But design-wise, I love him. He's so slow. He gets the M. That's an M on his forehead, right? Yeah, he just looks great. It's so good. The volcano on his back is good. That is a high A in my opinion. That is just under Mega Ampharos. Whew. Good stuff. Mega Altaria, the only dragon fairy we've ever had, and for now it doesn't even exist. Isn't that funny? I feel like they could have done more. Sure, it's fluffy, and that's nice. You could have done a little more, I'll be honest. Giving it the fairy type was such a good idea. fantastic idea. But I just wish it was a hair better. It's top of B, though. It's top of B. Man, this spread right now, we've got a decent amount in every tier, which is good. Well, you'd think most of them would be B to S, but which they are. Technically, they are. But I don't know. I like having this nice spread. It makes the tier list feel more full. Mega Banette. So glad Banette got a Mega. Oh my gosh, that is so good. Banette is like a forgotten Pokemon, I feel, a lot of the time. Its design is good. I like how it's like the zippers are bursting open and this pink creature, the real Banette, I don't know, is like popping out of it. I like it. I really do. But it still just doesn't catch my eye. It could have benefited from a secondary type. Maybe dark? Maybe fairy even? I mean, it's a toy come to life. That sounds very fairy-esque. You could even argue that base Banette could have gotten the fairy type when it was introduced. But, oh well, whatever. B tier, probably under Blastoise. I like it again, but it's just all right. Above all right. Mega Absol. Love that it got wings. But as is the case I'm seeing from a lot of the Gen 3 Megas, in my opinion, it's just kind of a B tier. It doesn't do enough. I feel like if you could have added some more splash of colors, or heck, maybe even leaned into the emo-ness of it all and made it a bit darker, it could have been something a bit more special. But as it sits, it's probably just under Manectric in B tier. Mega Glalie. Absolutely brutal Pokedex entries for this guy. I've got like a special attachment to Mega Glalie because I really liked its Pokemon card back in the day. Here it is on the screen. I don't know. It just, I read that card hundreds of times just thinking it can't possibly mean it would do that much damage. And yet here we are. It does. Never got around to making a deck with it because I never had a Glalie EX as a kid, but like, I don't know, it just made me really have an attachment to this guy. And I do like the design. Sure, its jaw is broken, but that's just weird Pokedex flavoring. I think it has a fun design. It really leans into that like floating Oni head. That's S tier in my opinion. That goes above Mega Steelix. So far, I mean, by this tier list logic, it is my third favorite Mega Evolution, which I didn't even expect going into this. But I've got a soft spot for it. I really do. Speaking of edgy Megas, Mega Salamence, the blood-soaked crescent. Give me a break. It didn't need... Ooh, could you hear my stomach growl? I'm starving. It did not need a Mega. Really, truly, wholeheartedly didn't. I do think its little leggies are so cute, just like inside its little protective dome. If it wasn't for the super edgy Pokedex entries, I really do think this could just be a friendly, cool-looking dragon with those cute little legs. I don't know. It's top of C. I really just don't think it needed it. And neither did Metagross. Mega Metagross did not need to happen, but it's cool. I will admit, it's super cool. Its legs coming out like this, ready to get you. I like it a lot. The big yellow X in the middle of its face. It's just so cool. It's got to be A tier, right? I agree with the hype. It's got to be A tier. But where in A? Probably above... Probably under Mega Alakazam. I'm not going to let the hype take it that far to be top of A. But I'm not going to lie. They did a good job designing this guy. Ugh. And then you have Mega Latios and Latios who look identical. So what wasted potential? Really, what wasted potential? I was going to say I get why they did it, but I really don't. You could have just done something so much cooler. I don't know. For wasted potential, that's above Mega Sharpedo for both of them in C tier. I just think they could have done so much better. Yeah, I don't know. Mega Rayquaza. Did it need a Mega? Absolutely not. Did it turn out so cool? Of course it did! Look at it! Just look at it. Rayquaza is arguably my favorite legendary Pokemon. I don't know, Ho-Oh's up there pretty high for me too, and there are a couple others, but I gotta do a legendary Pokemon tier list already. Maybe coming soon. Mega Rayquaza is cool. I'm just not gonna lie. Just the child inside of me, good lord, he's amazing. While I was in Japan going to all those Pokemon centers, I got to see the shiny Mega Rayquaza statue that's bursting through the ceiling. Loved it. I never wanted to leave. Guys, how can it not be S tier? Freaking... I don't want to be a normie, but it has to be like as close to top of S as I can get without unseating my favorite Mega Evolution. I'm sorry, it might be a normie pick, but Mega Rayquaza is incredible. Just incredible. Mega Lopunny. So good. Not to be a weirdo. Not to be a weirdo, and for no other reason than I think it is one of those Pokemon that, if it wasn't for dumb, horny people on the internet, Lopunny would be forgotten, right? But I think it's such a cool Pokemon, and giving it the fighting type, perfect. Giving it Scrappy, very fun. I don't know. I think its design is that, like I was talking about with Houndoom, that perfect next step in the evolution. If this would have just been its normal evolution, I would have loved it. I would have been here for it. But the fact that it's a Mega, totally fine with, totally love it. Let's call that S tier, right above Steelix, actually. It deserved the Mega. Just a few more to go in Gen 4. Mega Garchomp, known around the world as the downgraded Mega. Sure, it gets stronger, but it loses points in speed. So what's the point? I personally don't think it's an improvement to Garchomp. I really don't. I think the face looks worse. I think the scythe hands are even stupider than it's just like single claw hand things. I honestly don't like it. I don't like Mega Garchomp. I think it's D tier. I think it's above Mega Aerodactyl probably, but nah, it's under Mega Aerodactyl. It just doesn't do anything for me. I just don't like it. Mega Lucario, again, one of the first Megas we were shown, and I wouldn't exactly put it in like Houndoom or Lopunny status, where like if this was just truly the next evolution, I would be fine with it. But it's not quite Scizor, where it's like I could take either or. I do think Mega Lucario is an improvement design-wise, like a step up. Just not perfect. With that being said, I am still a fan, and I think it deserves A tier, probably above Mega Swampert. Yeah, that seems right. Ugh, Mega Abomasnow. I mean, what else would they have done to it realistically other than just making it this mass of body? I don't hate it. I'm trying not to let any bias of just Abomasnow get through, and I don't mean bias in a good way, because I'm not the biggest fan of Abomasnow. He's just kind of there, in my opinion. Yeah, that's probably bottom of B, if I'm being honest. I don't think he's bad enough to be C. No, wait a minute. I like Mega Heracross more than I like Mega Abomasnow. So, nope, I like... yeah. I'm going to put Mega Abomasnow under Mega Heracross in C. I think that's much more accurate. Mega Gallade, the final Mega of Gen 4. I love Gallade. He's one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. Easy top 10. And I think Mega Gallade is good. I like it better than Mega Gardevoir, but I also think they could have done something more to him. The cape is great. His new blade elbows are fantastic. I feel like they could have done a little bit more to his body, add some more of that red in and throughout maybe. But, I'm not really here to complain. I do think he's above Mega Ampharos and A tier. I sound kind of wishy-washy on him, but truthfully, he is so super cool. He is a knight in shining armor now. He would have been an easy top 3 S tier, though, if he would have just been a little more. Just a little more. Mega Audino. So glad Audino got a Mega. She deserved it. A lot of Gen 5 Pokemon deserve a Mega. Audino, so unexpected. Why Audino of all Gen 5 Pokemon? If it had to be one of them, sure. Why not Audino? What do you want to give it to? You want to give it to freaking Zekrom or something? You want to give it to a legendary? You want to give it to... I don't know. There are a lot of Gen 5 Pokemon that deserve it. I'm kind of hard-pressed to come up with a Gen 5 that doesn't. Speaking of which, give Basculin a Mega Evolution. Come on. He needs it. He can't evolve into Basculegion, so just give it to him. I kind of tangented there for a second. Mega Audino, although she really deserved it, and I'm glad she has one, and she's really pretty for a Pokemon. I still don't think it's just one of my favorites. Just because I like the design and I think it was necessary, I'm going to put her above Tyranitar, because Tyranitar was not necessary. You know what? Speaking of which, I'm going to move Tyranitar down a bit to being above Mega Mewtwo, simply because, yes, he looks really cool, but he was just so undeserving. He did not need that thing, man. I say all this while Mega Rayquaza is second. Mega Diancie. They had to give a Gen 6 Pokemon Mega Evolution because it is Gen 6's gimmick. Why Diancie of all things? I firmly believe the Gen 6 starters should have gotten Megas, but what are you going to do? It's just one of those Megas where I'm like, yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, it's cool. It's strong. But it just feels so whatever to me. I hate that we're ending on such a whatever Mega, but it's cool enough to be like above Heracross in C, but I don't know. It's just not something that I could ever see myself gravitating towards. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this is our tier list. I think it's great. If you would have told me I would have had Mega Charizard Y as like my 3rd favorite Mega of all time, I would not have believed you. And realistically, like I used Mega Venusaur before I used Mega Charizard Y. I might have even used Mega Blastoise beforehand just because I just think Charizard is incredibly overrated. But as a Mega, it's exactly what you want. It is exactly what you want it to look like. And that's basically what S tier is. Besides maybe Mega Glalie. I just like him for personal reasons. All of these other Megas are just designed as just a next step in their evolution. Just to be so much more epic than what they ever could, what we ever thought they could have been. But listen, do you agree with a lot of my choices here? Are you mad that Mega Gengar is so far down in A tier of all things? Do you think Mega Kangaskhan should have been a lot higher because of its competitive prowess? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you agree with a lot of my choices, and even if you don't, please like this video. It would mean so much to me. And subscribe if you have not already. Follow my Instagram and Facebook, ElectricFriend2020. And remember, I've been mentioning that podcast a ton in this video. I don't know if I said the name, though, which is really bad of me. It's called Certified Pokemoments. Every single week, Jokum and I randomly roll a Pokemon, and we talk about its whole evolution line. It is so much fun. Jokum and I roast each other the whole time. It is a great podcast, and if you like Pokemon, I promise you, you're going to love it. But with all that being said, guys, once again, thank you so very much for watching. Until next time.